Hello internet friends, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lindsay. If you're new here, hello, welcome, LiJo. Happy to have you. So today we're going to talk about the ways to tell if someone is lying about their type or trying to be perceived as a type other than what they actually are. And there is a big giveaway here. One centralized concept, we're going to dive right into it. Here we go. Now, one thing we see here in the typology community quite often are people that will go through the list of types, find one that they wish to pair with their own identity, and then basically just try to align their identity with that chosen type. Now, that's fine if you're just wanting to do that. You want to pick an identity, go for it. You know, it doesn't mean it's accurate, but it's fine. And what will usually happen is someone will read a description from a profile, an MBTI profile, and they'll go through it and they'll be like, okay, yeah, I can remember these parts that say that they are a part of this type, and I can basically regurgitate those upon needing to talk about my specific chosen type. Even outside of the typology community, there are times when people want to be perceived a certain way because they feel as though that other way of being perceived will be of a higher value, and that is why they choose to act this way. So the main thing we want to focus on here as it relates to the cognitive functions and the type as a whole is what is the person saying they're doing versus what are they actually doing. So our savior functions, our dominant functions, as some might say, are obvious to us as our type. And now this is not something we choose, it is just something our brain chooses for us. They are obvious, they are just inherent to our very being and how we interact with the world. Therefore, subconsciously, there is no reason to bring attention to them. All right, so let's relate this example to myself since a lot of you have been watching my content for quite a while now. In my videos, do I talk about how I plan my videos, how I'm all about planning, right? No, I don't. So NI is very much a planning function. It's always looking ahead to see what it can do to prevent possible sensory chaos. So it's always pinging to the future to kind of organize its reality now. So I don't have to tell you that I plan my videos, that I outline them, that sometimes I have a system for blogging about them before I actually go and record them. I don't have to actually say that to you. I don't have to bring attention to it. I just do it. And hopefully what you receive is a concise, boiled down concept that you can take with you and apply to your life moving forward. So NI, reduced concept, TE, something that works. So when you're assessing someone, are you simply taking their word for what they do? Or are you looking at their life as a whole and tracking patterns within it to actually prove the functions either way? Again, the big thing we're looking at here is, are you saying you're doing them, or are you just doing them and letting your results in reality prove what you are doing in your very nature? So for the sake of an example, here are some terms that people may say that they do, but when you look at the pattern of their life, you may say to yourself, that's strange. They say they do these things, but in reality, it doesn't really look as though these are the things that happen to make their life move forward. Just a few examples, don't take them too personally if you say them yourself. So one might be, I strategize. Yeah, I spend a lot of my time strategizing. The past 3 hours, I've just been strategizing about, a lot of things in the future. I like to think logically. When I'm talking with my fellow peers, it's often a very logical conversation that we're having with each other versus you just talking with someone or conversing with a camera or whatever it is, and it just being a logical conversation. I plan, yeah. You guys ever heard of it? I plan all the time. I'm always thinking about planning and how I may be planning for the things that I'm going to be thinking about next. So, I spent almost like 3 hours today just planning. It's exhausting. I'm really creative. Yeah, I just spend all of this time and energy into being creative and thinking about ways I can be more creative. I just can't stop being so rational the way that I am. I mean, it's almost annoying sometimes how logical and how intellectual my conversations can be, but I always have a reason for everything. So I just have this ability to read people. I can just read them. I just know what's going on with them. I mean, immediately, like that guy over there, he's struggling today. I can tell. I'm not gonna say anything, but I can tell. I'm just a very organized person. Like, I make lots of lists about things, and I always have my list around, and I'm always checking things off my lists. And I mean, lists are just probably one of the most important things about my life. You know, I don't know how anyone's going to survive without a good list. All right, so do you see what I'm getting at here? It's talking about the thing, talking about doing the thing, versus just naturally and innately doing the thing and then letting the results, letting the reality speak for itself. Now, what that requires you to do as the person who's viewing the situation is actually break down the patterns. So you can't just be looking at the person, hearing what they're saying and being like, oh, definitely telling the truth. You have to be looking at the big picture, I know, the irony, that is that person, and saying, how does this pattern actually track out with what they're saying? You know, I'm not talking about how I'm planning all the time. I'm not telling you guys how my life is very planned and systematized. But if I were to be talking about something in a video, I may bring up the fact that, you know, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during this and this time block, I'm always going to be doing this certain thing. And that Tuesday and Thursday between this other time block, I'll be aligning my energy in this direction. What you're seeing is the fact that, oh, to have done that, it would have required some planning. So you're able to infer and to see the pattern to say, you know, someone who is chaotic, someone who is savior gather, you know, SE or any, probably wouldn't be aligning their time that way. Now, for myself, I don't have to say it. I don't have to be like, oh yeah, I plan, you know, the system of my days, Monday through, you know, Sunday. But the reality, the pattern is what speaks for itself. All right, guys, hope you enjoyed this video. Again, if you've chosen your own identity and your own type, I don't hate it. You do you. But for those of you who are trying to understand the difference between a savior function, demon function, what someone is dominant in, this is just a public service announcement of how it works. So if you guys would like to book time with me, my link for Snug is down below. We can have a video session together. If you want to see more videos like this, you can subscribe, this, that, and the other thing. I will see you in my next video. Have a great day.